We are outside getting some grounded energy. I wanted to touch some grass today. Ooh. And now we are in the park. Ooh, that breeze feels good. Connecting with mother. Yes. So I have my agua. I don't want to drink too much of that because I will have to use the restroom. Now that I'm on camera, I feel like I don't want to leave. Like, this is like my chill time. This is my time to, you know, connect. And there's like an entire world out there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, whether it's me and you know, or whether it's you and another person or people, it's like there's so many opportunities to connect with great people. It's so important for all of us to not limit ourselves to just our immediate surroundings. You know what I mean? Because with us only looking in our immediate surroundings, it's almost like we're trying to force it to happen where we are because that's what we want. But as we know, it just doesn't always work out like that. So when you do take a trip or you travel or you're on a dating app or something like that, like, expand your reach and understand that there's a city nearby, there's a next city over, even if it's hundreds and hundreds of miles away. There's other states, there's other countries, there's other continents, you know, and the possibilities are endless. I always try to enjoy where I am right now while remaining open to change or the possibilities of the future. But today I am sipping on, this is a very special tea. I feel like it's definitely fitting for the setting and the vibe that I'm going for today, to just really connect with nature. And, you know, there's a tea for everything. That's one thing I love about tea. Should I shake it up really? Like a protein shake? Let's give it a little shake. I'm gonna let it chill now for a while. Sometimes I just want things to be like back to my normalcy. And that's one thing I've been trying to do, is just listen to my body when it tells me that it needs something different, whether it's, you know, health related or nervous system related, how I feel around people or situations, or it's actually getting to the point where when I feel like I need to make a change, I just make it. Like, I can literally wake up in the middle of the night, and if I feel like there's something that I need to do, I just do it. It's very, very interesting. Like, I don't feel like I've ever been to that degree, but I'm leaning into it. I feel like all of that is a part of letting go and letting God and letting life happen and not forcing it. And a lot of times it's things that I was already contemplating about anyway. You know, it's just something that I probably was pondering on, or maybe putting off, or trying to see if it would change or if I would be interested in the long term. I didn't want to make a premature decision, but when I feel it, I just do it. I'm just really at that space. And sometimes I shock myself because I'm like, who are you? Like, I've always been this person, but the deeper it gets with time, you have so much more space to grow and expand. And sometimes that means changing your environment, right? Changing who you're interacting with, or the activities or hobbies or routines, or, you know, anything that's just not serving you. Could be a job, you know what I mean? Just feeling it and knowing it and trusting it. That's what I mean. You know, getting to that point is so good because it gives your brain a break. And you start making decisions like whole and full body. You pay attention to your full body, and you allow everything to make the decisions for you. And just see how that goes. It's worth really like letting go and just living and seeing how that goes. Because a lot of times the things that create bumps in the road and like circumstances that are, less favorable or don't provide us with a certain amount of happiness or peace is because like we keep trying instead of just allowing things to develop and just be. You know what I mean? Especially if it's not working. That's a level of acceptance as well. Just like it's just not working. That's okay. Just because I had the idea and I created like this narrative in my head as to how the day was supposed to play out and it was supposed to go in a specific way and order, just because it didn't go exactly that way doesn't mean that I have to be let down or discouraged or irritated in any type of way. And all of that stuff kind of goes back to like being regulated. What I've learned is getting more regulated is just letting go as much as possible and just allowing whatever situation or circumstance that's naturally happening to happen. So I think I'm going to drink a little bit of my tea now. Looks like it's settled. Oh, okay. It is a very earthy taste. I like earthy though. It matches the vibe. I'm sitting on earth. It tastes like earth. I'm drinking earth. Like, I think just that regulation, that emotional regulation is absolutely necessary to get to the next level in life. Life, love, connections, even be it with yourself, like, because there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's just going to be, natural progressions and circumstances that feel good or don't feel great. But to be able to, I call it yoke yourself up, like when a kid is acting bad and their parent like yokes them up, just to catch their attention. Like if they're really small, like pick them up by their shirt or something. I feel like if you can just master that or work on practicing that for yourself, just yoking yourself up in the moment when you're feeling that tension, that feeling of, maybe anxiousness, or it could be anything, sadness, anger. Take a moment and get to the root of like, okay, why do I feel this way? And one thing I realized about myself by doing that is it's so easy to create stories and narratives in our minds based off of situations, circumstances, or events that we may have experienced in the past, right? And something so small can happen at the right time to the right person, and it feels so wrong, even though it might not actually be that. It's just because how it happened and when it happened, the feelings that came up were reminiscent, right? It took them back to a place energetically or mentally or, emotionally in this case. And sometimes an entire narrative and story can be created in our minds, as to what's happening when we have absolutely no verification or confirmation of said situation being what we think it is in the moment. If you genuinely accept that idea as truth, it would be a challenge for you to even let it go and be like, this is not the reality. Even if someone told you, hey, that's just not true. That's not what happened. This is actually what happened. Reflecting gaining understanding about yourself, accepting your strengths and weaknesses is not you admitting or stating that you're wrong or you're to blame for everything. You know, you're actually preparing yourself for the new opportunities and circumstances that are either right in front of you or on their way. Because we all have to test our skills at some point in time in life. Whether or not you're successful in the moment doesn't even matter as much as you seeing some growth from the old you, the old version of you, the old patterns and habits and things that you used to do. As long as you see an improvement, you know that it's working. You know that you're growing. You know that you've evolved. You know that you're a bit more in tune or mature, you know, and that should be motivating. But it always takes me, still to this day, yoking myself up mentally in the moment to be like, whoop, we don't want to block our blessings, right? All right, y'all. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in to these moments where I just kick it with you. And I look forward to the next one, okay? Enjoy your day. Love.